Hi, I'm George Hill, and I'm the Libertarian candidate for District 55 to be the state representative. And one thing I want to do is I'm going to do a few video clips here and talk about some of the issues that are important to me and important to Utah, and some just to give you guys an introduction as to who I am. So now, if you're going to vote for a candidate, you want to vote for somebody who's going to be able to do the job of representing, which is why I don't like to use the term congressman. I don't even like to use the term leader, because you don't want to vote for a leader. You guys know what you need to do. You guys know what's good for your family and for your business. What you need to vote for is you need to vote for somebody who's willing to be a servant, who's willing to work for you, to do what the title says, to be your representative. And that's what I want to do. Utah is supposed to be one of the most family-friendly states. We love our children. Yet, what we don't love doing is paying for their education. I think education is one of the most important issues that we have, not only as a state, but as a society in general. We need to fund education, not cut it. Congress has been cutting public education funding at every turn. Anytime something needs to be cut, it seems like education gets cut first and foremost. You know, I think it's important that we need to better fund the K through 12 education so that the children can develop, so that they can earn their way to get to that secondary education. Let's get them there first. Now, how can we do that? Well, one, we can allow a state lottery. We've got hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars going to Colorado from the people of the Uinta Basin, crossing the border to buy lottery tickets. We've got people going up into Idaho to buy lottery tickets up there. We're funding Idaho and we're funding Colorado's education, but that's too good. We're too good to fund our own education through that method. I don't understand that. Here in the Uinta Basin, we've got a fantastic amount of natural resources, and one of the resources that we have is our wildlife, our hunting. Yet here in Utah, we have some of the most ignorant hunting laws in the entire country, which makes a lot of people I know who love hunting choose to hunt someplace else. So what we need to do is we need to use some actual common sense to determine what needs to be done to manage our natural resources. A lot of people have said, a lot of avid hunters have said that if we want to, increase the amount of wildlife that we have, is that we take everybody that works for the DWR and put them over to mosquito abatement. And what the result will be that we'll kill off all the mosquitoes and have an abundance of deer and elk to hunt. Another thing I've heard from a person that works for the DWR is that when they talk about managing resources, they're not talking about the big game. They're not talking about the animals. They're not talking about the habitat. When they talk about resources, they're talking about us, the hunters, me and you, people who are going to use those resources. We're their resources because all they care about is the money, which is why we've seen the DWR shorten the hunting seasons, but continue to sell the same number of hunting tags. That's not wildlife management. And to me, that doesn't make any sense. Another big hot topic issue for the Uinta Basin is the use of our public lands. What we've seen is federal agencies come and tell us what trails we can use, where we can go, where we can camp. People taking direction from Washington, D.C. that calls this area flyover country and they couldn't find Uinta Basin if they used Google Earth. And they're going to tell us how we're going to live in our land? That doesn't make sense to me. Okay. All right. The Libertarian Party is kind of a big tent party. There's a lot of people in it that have different beliefs. But at the core, all those beliefs center around freedom. Now, a lot of people in the party use that in support of abortion and drug legalization. Well, as a libertarian, I have the right to have a different opinion. I'm also a Mormon, a member of the LDS Church. And because of that, I don't believe in the use of drugs, and I don't believe in abortion. I believe in the right to life. I am pro-life. And my promise to the voters of Utah is that I will never vote in support of abortion, and I will never vote for the support of drug legalization. As a libertarian, I firmly believe that the best thing we can do to help our nation and help our state is to reduce government, to reduce taxes, and by and large that's going to increase freedom, and that is best for Utah.